Nowadays, we
Yes.
don't agree with the
Yes, we can provide.
bank statements.
Yes.
And we'll also confirm ours.
Yes.
And we write a report.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Regarding the funding from the county, because you say everything is entrenched in the agreement. This is the next year for.
Chairman, before that. So maybe MD, what did Office of the Auditor General, why did they decide and say that the accuracy and validity of the reported said that other receivable balance of that 204 could not be confirmed? What do you think made them to make that decision?
Okay, let's look at the two issues that have been raised.
I just become direct.
Yes.
Just, respond direct.
The line,
What is the reason why they say it? They did not confirm these figures.
it says that out of the 204 million,
Yes.
8.1 million, the share certificate was not provided for. We only provide share certificate to the county government after payment. So it means KEWASCO has not received 8.1. Number two is also on 8,782,552, which is in respect to the value added tax. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I think the question here is, you are saying you have been following up the county government to give you 8.1. But what about in these other ones that they gave you? Did you use a lot of energy to get the same money? Because if you are able to get 15 million and you're able to get 18 million, what's the difficulty in getting 8.1 million? And why is it becoming, for example, if you are given 18 million, why is it becoming a priority to cover maybe these costs like electricity, maybe salary and bulk water, when already maybe you can get maybe from other sources, so that you can prioritize and get the 8.1 million that has become an issue?
Thank you, Chair. First of all, when you look at the four components I have mentioned, we normally get payment for bulk water, which is paid directly to Bomet. So, and this one is normally done when there is either a notice from Bomet of disconnection or already when we have been disconnected. Two is the support towards electricity is paid directly by the county government to Kenya Power. So we only acknowledge to have received that subsidy as a grant, but we don't get the money direct to Kericho Water. So for the other components, I want to mention for salary harmonization, for the last 5 years, that component has not been paid. The 1,107,000, which was supposed to be paid monthly, has not been paid to date, and also the share capital. So those are part of the outstanding.
Apart from maybe writing letters, have you done any meetings? Because sometimes you don't have to write a letter and wait. Have you ever done any meetings with the county government regarding the same, so that maybe you have a resolution, or even maybe you agree on something substantial?
Thank you. We have had several meetings as Kericho Water and the county government. To even a larger extent, we have involved Lake Victoria South Water Works Development Agency, and that culminated into the signing of another document. We call it the Joint Interim Committee. The reason for that is we have a transboundary water that comes from Bomet. So first of all are we able to have consistent supply of water to Bureti? So we wanted to solve that problem first. So we involved the two governors, and I think part of the documents in the subsequent audit here, you'll also see Joint Interim Committee report, which was sent by
I'm
the two
talking
governors.
about MD. I hope you understood my question. I was talking about the 8.1 shareholding. We were not talking about Bomet and the rest. Have you ever had a meeting regarding the shares?
Yes, we have.
What was the response, and what did you agree on the meeting? Because we don't want to rely on the letters.
Okay. We agree that the county make a provision in their budget to pay the 8.1 million.
Okay, thank you. Any other question?
Maybe what is becoming difficult, and yet 3 members from county government are sitting in the board. what is becoming so difficult for you to make decision? Because CC Finance, CC Water, and the rest of the team from the county government are there. Or are you making decision as you?
No. All these, any
Is there
decision,
minutes that shows?
Yes.
Because you may talk too much. I also know you, MD.
we have
Are you able to give us minutes that shows we did this meeting and we agreed this,
We
but they
can
have not
we can
implemented?
provide. Yeah, I can provide.
So you can do it now, because that is something that is very simple.
I'll make sure that at the end of this meeting we'll provide.
Please
the minutes.
provide. Thank you. Any other question? If there's no other question, let me hand over to Auditor General to read the next question.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Maybe this the issue of the shares not taken up, the shares not taken up has been recurring for some time. Probably I'll ask probably the MD if you can explain to the committee the process of taking up the shares as per your memorandum of understanding, and how far it has gone through for the shares to be taken up and paid for, and maybe probably if the shares are not taken up, what are the remedies available as per the memorandum of understanding, because it will guide the committee when they are writing their report.
Okay, thank you. As I had mentioned, is already we have had a discussion, so we want to believe that we have gotten into a mutual agreement that this share capital will be paid. Yeah, we are optimistic on that.
The next paragraph, number 2, is undisclosed material uncertainty relating to going concern. The statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income reflects an operating loss of Kenya shillings 10,149,436. The loss resulted to an accumulated negative retained earnings balance of Kenya shillings 117,228,674 as at 30th June 2021. In addition, the total current liabilities balance of Kenya shillings 346,794,073 shillings exceeded the current assets balance of Kenya shillings 224,475,275, resulting to a negative working capital of Kenya shillings 122,318,798. The company was therefore unable to meet its financial obligations as and when they fall due. The state of affairs is an indicator of an acute financial challenge facing the company, which raises significant doubt on its ability to continue to operate as a going concern without support from the creditors and the county government. However, the material uncertainty in relation to going concern and any mitigating measures put in place by the company's directors to reverse the undesirable trend have not been disclosed in the financial statements. Thank you.
Thank you. You can proceed with the response.
Thank you, Chair. We do acknowledge that the current liabilities balance exceed the current assets balance, resulting in a negative capital of 122,318,798 shillings. It is important to note that Kericho Water and Sanitation Company took over the operations of Tilido Water and Sanitation Company, and its assets and liabilities were transferred to Kericho Water on 2nd of November 2018. Kenya shillings 268,161,623 comprises provisions for retirement benefit obligations, trade and other payables, customer deposits, and deferred income. The county government of Kericho gave subsidy support towards bulk water and electricity for defunct Tililbe Water and Sanitation Company, in this case, rural schemes, totaling Kenya shillings 16,500,000. Additionally, when devolution came into force, Bomet Water Company was formed and it took over the operations within Bomet County, which were then under the service provision area of Tililbe Water and Sanitation Company. A deed of transfer was signed enumerating the assets and liabilities that were shared by the two water companies. In the deed of transfer, 25,073,379 of the outstanding liabilities as at that June 2018 was to be paid by Bomet Water Company, and the same is still outstanding despite several reminders. Furthermore, during the takeover of Tililbe Water and Sanitation Company by Kericho Water, the Water Service Regulatory Board, WASREP, gave several conditions to be undertaken before the takeover. One of these conditions was that the county government of Kericho, being the sole shareholder of the two entities, to settle all the liabilities borne by Tililbe Water and Sanitation Company, and a subsidy support agreement was signed. Therefore, the liabilities amounting to 65,491,846 was to be paid by the county government of Kericho as a one-off, and a continuous monthly payment support for the bulk water, salary harmonization, and electricity bills for Tililbe Water and Sanitation Company. Also, in the financial year under review, the company operated two non-cost reflective tariffs which didn't cover its cost of operations of water per day, which will target areas such as Belgut, Ainamoi Center, Sosiot, Kapkelek, Kapsoit, and Kericho Town environs. This last mile connectivity will lead to additional water connections and thus increased bill volume for the company. This will lead to increased water sales and a positive financial impact on the company. Attached is a progress report for the project as at September 2022. In the short term, the intervention that we have done: one, we have written several reminders to Bomet Water Company to pay the agreed amount as per the deed of transfer of 25,073,379. Annex number 3 is a deed of transfer and letters to Bomet Water Company. Number 2, a reminder to the county government to honor the subsidy support agreement and payment of transferred liabilities of 65,491,846 and liabilities that have since accrued due to salary harmonization, bulk water, and electricity bills. Annex 4 is also a letter from Water Service Regulatory Board and a subsidy support agreement. In the long run, this is where we want to be. We want to follow up on the deed of transfer signed, stating the assets and liabilities that were shared between Bomet Water Company and Tililbe Water and Company and Sanitation. In the deed of transfer, Kenya shillings 25,073,379 of the outstanding liabilities as at that June 2018 was to be paid by Bomet Water Company. 2, a tariff review has been done, and the company currently has a new tariff which was rolled out in March 2023. Annex number 5, Gazette Notice number 1305. With this new tariff, we expect an increase in revenues which will lead to a break-even for the company in the long run. Number 3, the new Dokamoja is, at that point in time, was at an advanced stage of completion, and it will inject more volume of water into the network, leading to increased billings. Annex 6 is the site progress report on the new Dokamoja water supply project. Last but not least, We have also developed proposals for funding for last mile connectivity to development partners and other stakeholders. A case in point is Embassy of Japan, SK Kawanishi, and KFW. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me take you through the question. I'm surprised because the company is running on a negative working capital of around 122 million 318, meaning if and again you see there is a loss of 10 million. In my calculation, if we still continue even to recover to come back to where you break even, it will take around 10 years if you continue going at a negative figure of 10 million. In my own calculation, I see it's 10 years. But I've seen you have given some strategies that it needs to bring the company back. Again, 10 years is a lot of time. In the current unaudited financial year, let's say this year of 2022-2023, are these strategies working? Is there any improvement? Because we are talking about that financial year of 2020-21. Is it really working as we talk now? Because negative 10 million every year, and already we have a negative of 122 million. What miracles can we do? Because even if it's saying that county government is going to chip in and fund, already the Department of Water, maybe I know the chair budget knows the budget for water alone, might not even be enough to sustain water from water department as well as KEWASCO. So actually we need to get answers on what real strategies are you implementing so that we can recover this, because tell me, how many years are we going to take to come back to life?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I want to take you to our strategy where we already have a new tariff. The billing for the company has increased by 2 million. So that is one indicator that these strategies are working. Another strategy that has worked is we have managed to do last mile connectivity. That is one of the interventions that we say we need to do. So we already have water supplied to areas of Ainamoi, and as you must or you might be aware, is already we have signed a support from Embassy of Japan that we also do increase in the number of consumers that are here to get our water for Belgut. So those strategies are working.
Thank you. Through the chair, maybe what do you think is the cause of this very huge loss in KEWASCO?
The cause of the loss is also linked to the high volumes of water that we are losing in our infrastructure. I think
does it mean you don't have capacity to do the maintenance?
Interventions towards mitigation measures on run revenue water comes with a cost. I want to say that the company still experience very high non-revenue water due to old infrastructure. And one of the causes is the old pipelines, which we have. Number two is mainly due to meter anomalies. We also have customers or clients who have connected themselves to our network illegally. And that's why currently you see we have also enlisted the services of Water Police Unit.
When did you update your data, especially for the metering? Is it up to date?
Okay, through the chair, when it comes to data update for the metering, we do conduct what we call customer identification survey. It's a continuous exercise. We visit the customers and come and update, say that data in the system is the same as data at the customer's premises. The other major contributor is on the tariff. Tariff review is a process, and after the takeover, we did a tariff application and that was in 2018. Then the regulator recommended that we have a license first. We had a license. Then currently we have a tariff, but the tariff is not full cost. It doesn't cover the whole cost of operations. Again, the regulator protects the customers. If you look at how the water sector is regulated, tariffs, most of the companies are not allowed to cost of operations. That is why the element of subsidy support comes in.
Is there a possibility that we have consumers who would not have meters?
There are consumers who don't have meters, especially in the rural schemes in the rural. A scheme like for Tenan, we don't have meters. A scheme like Kipsitet, we don't have meters.
What about here in town?
No, for urban, all the customers are metered. The challenge that we have in urban is meters are old. The efficiency of meters is reduced with time.
So you are very sure that there is no leakages?
Leakages are there, but all the customers are metered.
I mean in terms of meters, whereby somebody consumes water, but it's not metered. Do you think
that are termed as an illegal connection.
Is it there?
Illegal connections are there.
Okay.
And we handle them every day.
What have you done to make sure that you stop those illegal connections going forward?
Okay, for illegal connections, if you look at the tariff has a punitive charge on illegal connections. So if a customer would be caught having connected illegally, there's a punitive charge. Then again, we have a team that does patrols on customers that have been disconnected for long. So with that again, we get illegal connections.
Okay, how do you confirm payments from these meters? Maybe if somebody has a meter and is supposed to pay, are they paying it instantly or until you do the follow-ups? Okay,
there are various types of customers. There are customers who would get their bills and pay instantly. There are customers who would want us to go and threaten to disconnect to pay their bills. There are customers who would want us to disconnect for them to pay their bills.
Okay, at what point will you go and threaten that consumer? Okay. When he or she has a figure of how much?
What happens when we have when a bill is issued, ideally after 14 days the customer should have paid.
With a figure of how much? 1,000, 2,000?
No,
5,
it depends now. If your monthly bill is 200, if you have 400, it is 2 months. So basically it is based on the period of outstanding, not the amount. If we say 3 months, so it can be 3 months
what
and
I'm
it is
saying
200.
is that maybe if somebody has a bill of 5,000, will you go and threaten him to pay?
If a bill of 5,000 is a monthly bill, you wouldn't threaten that customer. If it is a 1 month bill, but if it is 5,000 at 3 months bill, then we'll threaten to disconnect that customer.
What about those ones with huge bills and they are not followed? 100,000, 300,000?
Most of those people with huge bills are the government institutions. That is just being honest.
There is no.
We normally have someone following up on government institutions.
So there is no private companies?
They are not, mostly it is the government institutions and schools, but the other private companies do pay. If they have a challenge, they visit the office.
Take you to Crescent. Crescent has a bill of how much? Crescent Hotel, because that one is not a private, that is not a public institution.
Crescent had a bill of almost 40,000.
40,000.
Then we had Crescent have an illegal connection. Then now the penalty we gave a penalty for illegal connection and estimated charges. It came to 300,000.
Okay, so he connected illegally.
He connected illegally. So the charges for
to 300.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe
now, is there any way you can reduce this the cost that you incur during the reading, like introducing the digital one, that is the meter that we can pay before we consume? Is there any plan you undertake to reduce the wastage and also the cost of recovery?
Okay, there are those in the market that is having prepaid meters, say that you have to pay first before you consume. Then we have now the postpaid ones that we use. There are water companies who have done that. We had a plan to pilot it on our car washes, and again, it comes to the cost and the software. So again, it comes back to, we have this idea, what are the priorities that we have? But we have a vendor who has come, several vendors, they've come and did a presentation. Again, we have to take it to the board for approval so that we start on a small, we had said we start maybe on 20 car washes, we see if it is working. So it's something that is, it is good and it will reduce on the debt.
Thank you. Another one is that in your response you stated that Bomet Water Company was supposed to pay you 25 million. 73,379 as outstanding liability. So when do you expect them to pay?
We've had discussions with Bomet severally concerning the 25 million. In 2019, we wanted to reduce it from the bulk water bill that they normally give us. But there was we had a meeting, we agreed that we sort issues differently, bulk water differently, and the outstanding liabilities differently. Recently, we had a meeting at the waterworks, that is the Victoria South Waterworks, whereby initially we had signed the deed of transfer. Then there was one, the pension scheme, that was, it's called National Water Pension Scheme. And there was, when they went to Bomet demanding for payment of pension, then they came to Kericho demanding for payment of pension. There was the ball was being thrown on both sides. So we went to the waterworks for a meeting, and they had promised that they are going to even start with the pension payments for staff. In that 25 million, there is pension for staff. So there is a positive response to that. We are only waiting for them to pay the money. Again, after we did the letter, we had some communication with the MD that they need the details of the 25 million so that they can present it to the assembly for purposes of budgeting.
Okay, by then, how much were you owing Bomet? By then, that is 2021. Because from your notes, Bomet are saying that you owe them 34 million. Why don't you do the maths and then after that, you just give them 8 million and you solve those issues of debts?
Okay, one thing, when Bomet, Tilil Bay, when Bomet was formed, there were customer debts that were there by the several customers in Bomet County but were run by Tilil Bay. So again, that is an issue when it comes to the receivables. We have 49 million of debt that was with customers in Bomet side. And here we have 25 million of liabilities that are supposed to be paid with Bomet, from Bomet. So maybe we seek now this meeting or this house to help us so that, because when we go to Bomet, they are mentioning the county assembly. When we come back here again.
What I'm saying is that why don't you agree? And then it give and take. Then you pay them 8 million and everything it becomes balanced.
Thank you, Chair. You know, why it has become to get into a consensus is immediately Bomet Water was formed. Already we had served customers in Bomet, all the way even up to Sigor, and they had not paid for their water bills at the inception of Bomet Water Company. So those debts are not in their books. That is why they are saying, give us the details of the deed of transfer so that it's also taken to the assembly of Bomet for the purposes of budgeting. So debt which belong to Tilil Bay Water and Sanitation Company, which is deal with their customers. So that is now the starting point for this process to start.
Do you have an action plan? Because for 4 years and nothing is going on.
We have had an action
there is
plan.
a reluctance somewhere.
It's a process. Because
For 4 years.
if you look at part of what has delayed this is you remember there was also another court case that led to the frozen of the accounts.
I will be there, don't go there, because it's one of the issues.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do is this committee to make a recommendation so that we also forward the same to Bomet.
Okay. So maybe in view of the unaudited now results, maybe for last financial year, 22-23, I've seen that you have laid a lot of strategies that you are saying it will solve all these issues. Are you confirming to this committee that when 2022-2023 report will be coming out, all these issues will have solved the issue of share capital and the issue of loss?
Already, the audit process has taken place. So maybe by the other audit report for 24-25 now, we expect to have had some of these things sorted out. Because already, the audit exercise has gone, and already the share capital is still outstanding. But we want to believe that 2024-2025 will have made some headways.
Thank you. Thank you. MD, let me ask you some questions, because I'm still worried myself about the company. Though I'm optimistic that maybe a miracle will happen, but I believe, you see, even if all the assets are sold, all the KEWASCO is sold, everything is sold to pay someone, you will still be having another debt of around 122 million to pay. Where we don't know where to recover it. Even if we talk about the 25 million, if we keep ourselves running around 25 million, let's say even someone comes and pays 25 million, we are still in debt. And you see, there are huge losses which you have admitted that there are losses in KEWASCO. You are the team that is tasked to run KEWASCO, that is tasked to cut the cost and manage KEWASCO. So you cannot say you want to admit that there are losses, yet you are the drivers who are driving KEWASCO. That one now is a different case, because we expect you to tell us on how you are making profit instead of making losses. Again, you see, if you are a driver, you cannot sleep when you are driving a car and you know you are carrying passengers. You see, water is a commodity that is a basic right, even in the Constitution. And water should be provided to the people. Kericho people deserves to get water. Now, the issue is, if you know that there are losses, you know that there are spillages, you know that there are things that maybe are not working well, like the pipes. If you pump water today, do you pump water to just flow out and not being consumed by anyone? Because if you are pumping 10,000 liters a day and they are being lost somewhere, let's say there's some spillage somewhere, will you continue pumping and injecting resources to lose water? Let's say they do, till the whole year is, you lose 1,000 or 1 million liters while you are here seated, maybe as the management team. I think we have a lot of things to ask, because the losses can be managed. It can be managed, because you cannot just sit and say somebody owes you 10,000 today. You wait till next month, you are so good, you have enough money to spend, you can pay salaries, 20,000, 30,000, up to 1 million. What are you doing as the management? Because I don't want you to admit that there are losses when you are the driver. Actually, those are the things that maybe we need to ask ourselves. And let's not go around the cycles on, like the 8.1 million is not a lot of money to just blame that one, and 25 million. Let us talk about the real issues on what is affecting KEWASCO, so that we are making losses. Next question. Let's go to the next issue.
Thank you, Chair. The next question, number 3, is on unlimited statutory deductions. and it reads, the statement of financial position reflects trade payables of Kenya shillings 270,506,842, which, as disclosed in note 24A and B, the financial statements includes employee payables of Kenya shillings 55,964,592, comprising of Kenya shillings 16,537,676, Kenya shillings 5,635,799, and Kenya shillings 33,791,117 being unlimited pay as you earn tax, staff gratuity, and unpaid salaries respectively. Tax offenses and non-remittance of statutory deductions may attract penalties and interest, leading to increased liabilities.
Kindly respond.
Thank you. I want to say the company has been facing financial challenges, majorly attributed to reduced water volumes due to the dry periods, consequently leading to a general reduction in billing. In the case of rural cost center, the frequent water disconnection by Bomet County affects billings and revenue collection, and the low revenues negatively affect the company's financial base. The payee arrears accrued during the financial year 2014-2015 and 2015-2016 financial years, which is as a result of payment of collective bargaining agreement arrears of 2005 to 2007. The amount of payee of 16,537,676 and Kenya shillings 1,555,342 is June 2021 salaries and was paid on 8th of July 2021, which is already the next financial year. The balance relates to the implemented CPA. Staff gratuity of 5,635,799 is a provision that will fall due at the end of contractual staff. Included in the unpaid salaries of 33,791,117 is Kenya shillings 19,843,196 relating to salary arrears for the rural cost center for the period after takeover, that is November 2018. The balance of Kenya shillings 13,947,921 are payments of net salaries, loan deductions, and other staff payroll deductions for the month of June 2021. However, the company has done the following. Number one, a request to the county government of Kericho to settle pay-as-you-earn arrears that has been made. In addition, a payment plan with Kenya Revenue Authority has been negotiated. Annex 7 is the letter to Kenya Revenue Authority. Number two, for the case of salary arrears for the rural cost center, a follow-up with the county government of Kericho to commit to the subsidy support agreement attaches a copy of the letter to the county and a demand for unpaid salaries. Annex 8 is the letter to the county government and demand letter from Kenya County Government Workers Union. Number three, a request for an upward tariff review was done in the financial year under review and was approved in the financial year 2022-2023. This will increase billings and thus reduction in liabilities. Remember, I had alluded that we already have an upward bill improvement of 2 million. We have also annexed Gazette Notice 1305 as Annex number 5. Further, with the completion of New to Kamoja water project, more water will be available for sale. This will lead to increased billings and consequently revenue increase. Those are the strategies that we have put in place.
Thank you very much. This issue of unremitted statutory deductions is it by law? And again, let me ask the management, if you have a feedback, okay, sorry. Yes, we have a feedback from KRA, because part of it is KRA, for a letter dated 7th August. Did you reach a consensus on the same for the statutory deductions? And maybe what is the current status of the statutory deduction as up to date?
In that connection, through the chair, maybe so that you answer. I've seen trade payables of 44 million, and we don't have the details. So are you able to furnish this committee with the details? Because what I'm seeing is the details of employee payables, which is pay, as you have said, staff gratuity, and salaries due, and the rest. So are you able to give us the details of trade payables, the 44 million? You have talked about contract ending for the staff. When is it ending? So that we will also know this gratuity is meant for a duration of how many years. So you can start with that. Thank you, Chair.
Maybe so that you can finalize. In your letter, you propose to be paying KRA 300,000 monthly fare standing order. And then how much have you paid up to now? You can also provide evidence for the same.
Okay, on the issue of the statutory deductions, when it comes to pay as you earn, we still have the debt for the previous years, that is 2014, 2015, 2015, 2016. We had managed to pay 900,000 twice. Then after that, we didn't, we faced serious financial challenges. That is why we now did a proposal of 300,000. We had a meeting with KRA, but we didn't agree. They wanted we continue the 900,000. But aside from that, we had the VAT, we discussed again the VAT recoverable of 8.7 million. We had done a claim of 1.2 million some time back, and KRA had done a letter to us that we acknowledge that you are supposed to be refunded 1.2, but from their system they cannot refund us, so we did a letter to them agreeing that they offset from pay as you earn on that. So that was the progress that we had with KRA, but we will be having another meeting again for the 900,000. We negotiated at least we increased to 500,000, and we do a standing order for that. Then on
Through the chair, that issue of KRA, does it mean that you are waiting for KRA to reimburse you so that you used to pay?
on VAT recoverable, it is money supposed to be refunded to KEWASCO.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The only thing that you are going to do is to wait for them to give you, to refund you, so that you pay these statutories.
I've said we had paid 900,000 twice for that.
Or maybe you have not understood my question. I'm saying you have talked about claims from KRA. Is that so?
Yeah, in the same meeting, we were looking at avenues of reducing the pay. Then we had now the claims that we had done to KRA.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Are you only waiting for KRA to reimburse you so that you used to settle these issues of pay?
No, we are not. That is why we did a proposal of 300,000. That
for you
is,
to be paying.
no, we pay KRA 300,000 every month. So it was now them to accept the 300, but they said we increased to, we retain the 900,000 that we had. So we were supposed to agree on the 500,000. We said we can move to 500,000 every month.
Okay, so which means you have to start at this one, is to negotiate with them at least to 500 so that you pay them.
Yes.
And also if they refund you, you
They
use
don't
to
give
sort.
us the money, they deduct the amount from pay.
Okay. Proceed with the other question.
Okay, on the list of 44 million payables, we have the list. We had presented it for audit. It is there. So I'll have it. I'll give it to you with the one for debtors.
Okay, thank you. So,
Thank you. Is there any other question from the members? Auditor, is there any further question?
No, no question.
Okay, then we can proceed to the next one.
Paragraph number 4 is on deferred liabilities write-off. It reads that the statement of changes in equity reflects an increase of Kenya shillings 17,759 in retained earnings described as deferred liability write-off, which is disclosed at note 22 to the financial statements related to creditor balances written off due to lack of supporting documents and in absence of claims by the creditors. The funds ought to have therefore been presumed abandoned in accordance with section 11 subsection 1 of the Unclaimed Financial Assets Act 2011. However, the company did not make a report to the Unclaimed Assets Authority as provided under section 20 subsection 1 of the Unclaimed Financial Assets Act 2011, which provides that a person holding assets presumed abandoned and subject to the custody of the authority as unclaimed assets shall make a report concerning the assets to the authority. In the circumstances, the regularity of the liabilities write-off could not be confirmed.
Okay, make your response, Director.
Thank you. Deferred liability relates to creditors that were outstanding at the inception of the company in the year 2007. The amount was written off with approval by the Board of Directors as per the minutes annex number 9, page 5 of that minutes. Members, I want to say that the proposal to write off the deferred liability of 17,007,359 shillings was presented by the Chair of Finance and Administration Committee of the Board. The matter has been, it had also been discussed in the prior years and in the past years of the board meetings, and no list had been availed. So the same has been a recurring audit issue since the inception in 1998. And for that period, 2007, and for that period, no supplier had come forth to demand for payment. So we want to say that after having been presented to the board, it was deemed wise that this figure be written off with the approval of the board.
Thank you. Now, you say the board did the approval, but which principle were they using to do that? Because it is very clear that by the law you should report to the unclaimed assets authority.
The approval was also with an underwriter that it was also recommended that should a creditor make a claim in future with proper documentation, the claim will be brought to the board for authorization of payment.
No, the main question is, the law is something that is very clear. You cannot bend the law. They should have followed the law, that when you have unclaimed assets, there is a procedure of reporting or making reports to the authority. So when they are making an approval, Is it by which law now? Which law is guiding that one? Is that the underline?
I agree with you, Chair. I think that was an oversight. But I want to mention that I think we can still write to the Unclaimed Assets Authority on the same issue.
And who are the board members?
Currently, we have the county and one director. The rest, their term has come to an end, and we are in the process of recruiting a new board.
Okay.
Through the chair, before Mheshimiwa Paul, are you able to give us the details of these liabilities?
The list was never provided during inception of the company. There is no list. It's just a figure.
So you don't know.
We don't know who these people are.
So how are you going to pay people that you don't know?
And that is why the board saw it wise to write off, because nobody has come to claim since 2007. We are talking about 17 years now. And even if they come, they need to prove beyond reasonable doubt with proper documentation.
Is there correspondences that shows that you have requested to know these people?
It is very difficult. We have even visited the defunct municipal records.
Will you provide for us those correspondences that you have asked for these liabilities, but you have never gotten the responses?
Okay,
Nobody has come to
I'll try to get some of the letters, because these are from 2007.
So in your minutes also, I'm doubting if these members, they are the ones who wrote their names. If I can take you to photocopied minute, this one. 1 and 2 quarters, 2020-2021 financial year. Roslyn C. Ngeny, and she signed there. This one seems writings from one person. Does it mean maybe
No, I can even give you the
somewhere?
I can even give you the handwritten, the book itself.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So, thank you very much, Chairman. Apologies for coming in late. Because my ward is hosting the county athletics championships here, Kericho County, junior, secondary, and primary. Now, my question is, it is very important that this committee gets to know the composition of the board. Because if the board is not properly constituted because of the numbers, and I do not know how the operations should be. So it is very important that it goes on record that we get to know the current constitution of the board, which will help us so that, there are decisions when the management tells us about the board and the board is not properly constituted because of the numbers, then which board are we talking about? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think I'll present you the composition of the board, how it should be after.
No, just tell us now so that it is captured in the answer.
The current?
Yes.
The current is CC Finance and CC Water, and an extra director who came from the county, one Apollo Chariot.
That is a board.
Yes, the others have exited. Their tenures come to an end.
What is the membership of the board should be how many?
They're supposed to be 9.
9.
Yes.
What is the quorum?
Quorum is a third of.
A third of 9.
Yes.
So a third of 9 is 3.
No, it is 2/3 actually.
So
Yeah,
they are
6.
supposed to be?
6.
So what is the current composition of the
3.
board? 3.
Yes.
So
Technically,
is it properly constituted, or
as it is now, it is not properly constituted.
so anything or any document that appears in this report that may sound like a resolution of the board should not be, will it be admissible or not admissible?
I think, Chair and Honorable Member, is this report that we are discussing was for financial year 2020-2021 when we had a fully constituted board.
Well, you see, there is no way we are discussing 2021-2022, yes, but there should be a board in place for an institution to be properly constituted.
Yes, I agree.
It may be beyond you, but it's also very important that we note as a committee.
I agree. We had a discussion, and I think soon the process will commence on.
But as of today, as you appear before this PAC committee, the KEWASCO Municipal Board is not properly constituted.
Not municipal board.
Sorry, Kericho Water.
Yes,
KEWASCO.
we don't have a full board, a fully constituted board
Thank you.
as of today.
With regards to that one again, what is the procedure of, you say you are recruiting soon. Do you recruit or you appoint, or who appoints the board?
It is, we have the guidelines, we have the corporate governance guidelines issued by WASREP, which has borrowed heavily from Mwongozo. So the process is clearly actually enumerated in the corporate governance guideline. So first of all, we'll have to have an AGM, and then the vacancies are declared, and then how the process begins. We have to put advert on leading newspapers showing the categories of people to apply and the qualification threshold. So it will be done, and then after which there is need to constitute an interview panel which comes from the stakeholders, and then this panel now will interview the candidates who have shown interest to be board members, and then after which names are submitted to His Excellency the Governor.
Sorry for the interruption. When were you supposed to have done that? Or when was KEWASCO supposed to have done that?
We started the process, and that was, I can't remember the exact dates, but I have written letters.
When I see you, it is very clear that KEWASCO knew that the term for certain members will expire on a certain date. So there is no way you can allow a vacuum in the board management of KEWASCO. What were you doing until the board or the previous board term of those members lapsed?
Now, there is actually, an occurrence that happened is some of the board members, by law, they are supposed to serve 2 terms, that is 1 term renewable based on performance. Now, we did a letter to the county government to ask them either to renew or
Who appraises the board members?
the regulator, WASREP.
WASREP.
Yes.
So do you have any report from WASREP on the appraisal?
We have reports of some members who have been appraised.
And what were their recommendations?
The reports, they recommended either, it is now at the discretion of the governor to either renew or to get new ones. That is how it is.
Anyway, so Chairman, so we note that the composition of the board is not proper.
Yes, sir.
Thank
now.
Thank you. Let me ask the auditor general if you still have any other question.
No question for now.
And then we can proceed to the next.
The next part is on key audit matters, and there are no key audit matters to report in the E&I review. Other matters, the first matter is budgetary control and performance. And it reads that the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts reflects a final receipts budget and actual receipts on a comparable basis of Kenya shillings 360,628,367 and Kenya shillings 235,133,017 respectively, resulting to an underfunding of Kenya shillings 125,495,350, or that 5% of the budget. Similarly, the company expended Kenya shillings 246,522,860 against an approved budget of Kenya shillings 350,634,598, resulting to an under expenditure of Kenya shillings 104,000,000 111,738 or 30% of the budget. The underfunding and underperformance affected the plant activities and may have impacted negatively on service delivery to the public. Thank you.
Response?
Thank you, Chair. First, I want to agree that the company did not achieve its budget targets in the financial year under review. In the case of receipts, revenues is categorized into three. One is sales, two is grant income, and three is other income. Out of the performance difference, 125,495,350, 38,204,826, 88,719,462, and a negative of 1,428,907 are for sales, grants, and other incomes, respectively. It is important to note that the various schemes were affected by prolonged droughts, reducing the water available for sale during this year under review. Bulk water disconnection at Litein and Kapkatet areas also contributed, and power disconnections at Londiani, Kipkelion, and Sosiot. Grants income relating to subsidy for salary harmonization and statutory deductions were not received during this financial year under review. In the case of expenditure, most of the costs were not achieved due to non-achievement of the incomes we had budgeted for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For the issue of budgetary control, I think from your financial statements, trade receivables amounting to 195 million, 045, 727 for the period under review. This money for KEWASCO is owed by other third parties. Is owed by third parties. What action have you taken to recover this money? It is a substantial amount.
Maybe you can take us to the specific page we are trying to.
Can you go to financial statement where you have 195 million?
That is page 26.
Yes. There is 195 million that owed by other third parties.
Okay, when it comes to trade receivables, we have receivables outstanding debts from the various schemes. So we have receivables from Aban, that is Kericho Town. We have receivables from the rural schemes. Our rural schemes majorly Litein, Kapkatet, we have Chesinende, Fortenan, Sosiot, we have Kipkelion, Kipsitet, Bargaiwet, Londiani, and Sigawet. Then we have receivables that are from, that were for Bomet debtors. So if you look at a scheme like Chesinende, the pan, it was a pan, the pan dried, and we have outstanding debt in Chesinende. So it contributes to the 195 million. We have a scheme like Sigawet Hospital. Our major customer was Sigawet Hospital, and Sigawet Hospital moved to having a borehole. Again, we have outstanding debt of almost 200,000. Then we have the debtors from Bomet. That is 45.4 million. Again, that is with customers in Bomet County, but they are still in our books. that is just to try and break the 195 million. Then the other thing that affects debt collection is when water is disconnected. If supply is disconnected, collection is a bit low, especially if you go to the schemes that are affected by electricity disconnection and bulk water. So debt will accrue given that the water service is, the service that are given to customers is not there. So that has been a major challenge, and if addressed, if water is there on a continuous basis, then the debt will reduce. Then the other one is we've had road that are constructed by the county and the national government. We have areas where the pipeline was damaged for almost 8 or 9 kilometers. We have areas that were damaged for 2 or 1 kilometer. We've done several short distance areas, especially if it is 1 kilometer, we do it as Kericho water. But for areas that has 5, 6 kilometers, customers are there, but they are not getting water. That's a big challenge. We've given a breakdown of that budget to the county government and national to restore supply of the water. But the only one that we succeeded it was the national government when they were doing the Brook up table switch. They supported any pipeline that was destroyed. The main challenge has been with our county government in terms of pipeline destroyed. The roads were constructed and pipelines were destroyed for maybe several kilometers. A report of the same again had been shared to the roads department, water department, and recently we resent again the same to the department to support on that. Aside from that, we have, as KEWASCO now, what we have done. The first one is restoration, what I had said on customers where road construction had destroyed short distances. We funded the same, and some customers were brought back to the system. With that, the willingness to pay comes in since water is there. Then we have, there's the issue of, we developed a debt management policy. It wasn't there before. Again, that has helped us in categorizing the various debts that we have and approaches of how to collect debt. We restructured again our revenue teams so that we have teams doing revenue from 8 to 5 aside from others doing several jobs, and again that improved on revenue collection. Then during the dry season, we've had a challenge on rationing program, especially again in Litain and Kapkatet. With rationing, at least customers would get water and the willingness to pay will be there. So that is for the small amount of water that comes from Bomet, we've had serious rationing being done to allow customers to get even the small volumes of water, so that at the end of the day they'll be willing to pay the same. We've also had an exercise where we would all go and visit all the customers. We would collect debt repair bus, and again that has helped a lot because some customers are enlightened and given opportunities for part payments to come and pay as they consume water. Then most recently we've had the water police. They've assisted us to collect debt from customers that we've tried severally and they were not willing to pay. Then for the case of continuous water supply, we've had the joint interim committee for Bomet, whereby at least now we've had, this is the second month that water is continuously there. So the two committees from Bomet and Kericho has helped a lot. So with that, we are able to collect debt in Bomet and Kericho. So basically that is what we've done in terms of debt collection. And I think that is basically it, what we've done as KEWASCO, aside from, but all in all, if supply is there for 24 hours, then strategies of debt collections will be there. If you look at urban, at least we have water every day. So we can sit down with the team and say, let's go today to this area. The challenge now comes to the rural where water is not there. If water is not there, strategies of debt collection is almost at 0% because the customer wouldn't want to see us when there has been no water for maybe 5 months or 3 months.
Now, maybe the question is, how often do you collect revenue from water? Because if this figure is huge, 195 million is huge. It's almost what the county is raising in terms of revenue across the county. You see, if you wait, that's the question I asked you in the earlier on, that if you are waiting for me to have a debt of maybe 10,000, 20,000, up to $1 million, because you should be monitoring me that I'm consuming your water. I saw you gave a reason that there is a water pan that dried, and when it dried, so the money I owe you is no longer collected, is it? Why? Because yes, it dried, but I have your money. You should come for your money and collect it. But even if there is no water, because already it means I consumed something from you, and I am supposed to pay you. I saw you say there is something like called a debt management policy that you have. Maybe we would like to see that policy document so that we can go through and see what strategies you have done. And again, this is because it was for that financial year. Has that management policy, debt management policy, worked now, as we say, as we speak? You also describe about pipes being destroyed. Because one, if a pipe is destroyed somewhere, anybody can see. And even me, when you see water being spilled, you will react quickly and want to stop that spillage. So I don't know whether you have mechanism, because you have staff, you have workers on site who are supposed to be doing that, to be taking care of those risks. I don't think the losses should go to an extent where it is not noticed, even by students, even school students, even anybody, any human being, because we value water. So the issue of losses, where does it come from? Does it mean that the technical people are not very keen on what they are doing? Because if today you know that there is a water loss somewhere, the first thing is you react quickly and stop that, because it's a loss. So you cannot keep complaining and saying there are losses because of pipes, when some things can be controlled. Because a loss, it means you can stop even pumping, because you know that there are losses, there are spillages. So there must be something that maybe the technical team should tell us what is happening with these losses. Why do we wait until it is a huge volume? For the debt collection, why do you wait all the way to 195 million? Are you really working, or you are sitting somewhere not being very keen to collect this money? Because if I have your money, I should not use that product. I should not consume water. Unless you are giving out water for free, then you can say it's okay, because our role is to give out water for free. So we should see that debt management policy and actually see if it's actually applicable even as per now. Let me give my colleagues if they have questions on budgetary control performance. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Maybe, sorry for coming late, I didn't hear responses from the team from KEWASCO. So maybe, is this document that is in page 5, how they prepare their budgets? You can confirm statements of comparison of budget and actual amounts for the year ended 30th June.
Okay, in that financial year, when we are doing financial statements, we have a template from the Public Standards Accounting Sector Board. So the way we've put the data here is to fit the template.
What I'm saying is that how do you prepare your budgets?
Okay.
Okay, let's start this way. What are your source of revenues?
Okay, main source of revenue is water. We have water, we have steel.
Selling of water.
Yes.
So sales. That's the
Sales.
first revenue.
Yes.
You projected in that financial year which amount?
The budgeted is 219, 113, 949, 946.
Okay, what do you expect also as your revenues? Then these grants.
Yes, the others are grants.
From where? Because it should have specific places where they are coming from. It should not be blind.
Okay, what I presented there is to fit the format of the financial statement reporting. But if you want the breakdown, it is there.
Okay, are you able now to give us maybe your source of revenue then?
Yes.
For example, sales, that
Yes.
grants and the details of that grants.
Yes.
Where are you expecting that grants to come from?
Yes.
I'm also seeing other incomes.
Yes.
Where will this income come from? Did you have only 3 sources of revenues?
Yes, there are 3 categories, but they are if you come to other income, there are income like connection fee, reconnection fee.
But all are revenues.
Yes,
all
all of
source
them.
of funds.
All of them are source of revenue.
So I'm saying that you're only having only these 3 as per now according to this document. Selling, and then after that connection that you have said, then grants and other income.
Yes.
So other income, this other income, does it include what we normally budget for you? Because every year we budget more than 15 million.
What we budget for us is under grants.
Under grants.
Yes.
So you have a breakdown of what we budgeted for you in 2020.
Yes.
Okay. So what about your expenditures? Because it should tally. 219, 125, 126 plus 50, which is 360. Your expenditures should tally. So where is your expenditures? Or this one, personal expenses plus operation and maintenance costs?
The expenditures are 356, 34, 598. That is for recurrent, and 2632 million for capital expenses.
So you are saying expenditures is how much?
350 million 634 598.
So your revenues is 360 and then your expenditures is 350.
Then we have capital, that is recurrent expense. Then capital expense is 2632.
Or 350 is the recurrent expenditure. Then the capital expenses is 20. So 371. So which means you expected to receive 360.
Yes.
But here you are doing over expenditure by 371. What prompted that? Because I thought you will budget for something that you will get. What prompted the over expenditure?
Maybe through the chair. Actually, it is normally a balanced budget. I'll check on the figures.
So what will you call this one now that has a over expenditure of 10 million, 11 million? Or it was a guesswork? Just say.
No, it's not a guesswork.
How did it find its way to this document from Office of the Auditor General?
I see for grants, you budgeted for 126 million, and actually it's 37 million that you received. So you have is it a underperformance of 88 million? So what does it mean? Because as a management, when you are sitting, the way my colleague is saying, that you should be knowing where you get the income, and you should not miss by this huge margin of around is it 30%. 30% is too much, because you are expecting to get 126, while in the real sense, you get at 7 million. Even if you miss it, because you know yourselves and you know where to get the money. Where were you expecting 126 million?
Maybe a first example would be when the Department of Water is making a budget, they would tell us, give us your budget for bulk water and electricity. So we'd give a budget of 42 million for bulk water and 7.2 million for electricity. When that is based on, for bulk water, it is based on volumes. From the bulk water supply, the agreed volumes is 4,000 per day. So at the end of when we are doing the budget, we do 4,000 times the cost of per cubic times the number of days in a year. So we get 42 million. In our budget, we will put 42 million, assuming that all things are constant. There will be no disconnection. So we'll put 42 million as income from the county government and 42 million as the expense that we are going to spend. So if the county would submit 15 million and we had put 42 million, there is that variation in terms of achieving the budget.
Yeah, maybe let's start with the other one first, over expenditure, so that we will come to what Chairman was saying. What prompted you to prepare expenditure of more than what you expected?
Okay, maybe I can say if just I had said I'll recheck. If you would see the signed budget, it was a balanced budget. I'll just recheck on the figures.
Okay, because this one is what is in the Office of Auditor General. So did you supply a wrong document maybe?
No, when audit is done, we give the budget in the format that we use.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe Chairman can note that. So let's go now to his question, whereby you were saying the way you have said, you go with a projection. So there is a projection here, what Chairman was talking about, a projection on grants. You expected 126 from various departments, maybe various institutions, including Kericho County. So unfortunately, what you received only was 37 by the end of that financial year. So you had a visit of 88 million. Does it mean you did not have correspondences that confirms that we will give you this? Maybe organization A will give you 50, another will give you 30. There was no communication or correspondence to confirm that these figures, you'll get these figures before you budget? For example, that
Okay.
grant, yes.
Thank you, Chair. If you look at what we budgeted as grants of 126 million,
Yes, yes,
26,834.
yes.
Now, part of this, remember there is that subsidy which was high. So what we are getting these figures is the cost of water that comes to Bureti. So it's normally a budget of 43,200,000. That is component number one. Component number two is
Okay, before
also
you go to number 2, was there anything that show that you will be given the 43 million? Because what I know about the budget is that before you budget, you must have a confirmation document.
what normally happens is before the department prepares their budget, they normally ask us for those items. So we
That's
give
what
them.
I'm saying. That's 43 that you are saying.
Mhm.
Was there a confirmation that Kericho
No,
County
we
will
didn't
give?
get a confirmation.
So you only wrote that we will get money
as
from
per the agreement,
of 2018.
the letter, and as per the subsidy support and the letters, because
But-
if you look at
because when was the last time writing that letter that concerns the 43 million?
there is, I think we have the latest letter. I did in 2023 around there, because you remember there is a time the supply from Bomet was disconnected for 9 months.
Okay, MD, you know, we are talking about budget.
Yes,
How you prepare your budget
yes.
vis-a-vis your expenditures. So what I was saying, when you are preparing now the budget,
Mhm.
si ndio, si lazima upate confirmation ya kwamba tutapata this 43 million from this person, ama utaweka tu that you'll just put a notion that
We actually
David will give me 43
we don't
million.
put
then
actually the blanket figures.
Yes,
Remember that this budget is also approved by the board, and
Yes,
within
but-
the board, we have the CEC water and the CEC finance sitting.
Okay, thank you. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
This breakdown of 126, you have talked about 43 million
Yes.
expected from Bomet or from
From
Kericho County,
the county
from
for
Kericho
bulk
County
water. Yes.
for bulk water,
And then there is also 7.2 million
7.22
for electricity.
from county also,
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then there is a salary harmonization
from the county.
from the county, which is it's 13 million.
Okay, was there anything that they confirmed to you? Is there written something that we will give you this and this and this and this?
Not necessarily a written document.
Okay. So at long last they gave you 37.
They gave us 37 million, and within this 37 million is actually bulk water. We also have electricity, and then we also got some other grants to construct and relocate a septic tank. Yes.
Okay.
It came to 37 million.
7 million.
Yes.
So I will request that maybe you furnish this committee with the breakdown of that.
Okay.
So the second one is this one on
Breakdown
other-
of 37?
breakdown of how you got the 7 million. The
Okay, it's
actuals.
fine. It's fine.
You can give us the projected and then the actuals, breakdown of the actuals.
Okay.
So this one on other income, you projected 15 million.
Yes,
At long
from other
last
income.
you surpassed, you got 16 million.
Other income, maybe.
Other incomes,
Yes. Within other incomes, we have the following. We have reconnection. When
Yes.
we disconnect you and then you come for reconnection, you are charged.
Yes.
We have connection fee.
Also this one you got 100%.
For reconnection,
109%. Other income.
other income, yeah, we got an extra.
Okay. So on sales now, you projected for 290.
Yes, for
At
sales.
the end of
290
that
million.
financial year, you got 180.
Yes,
So a deficit of 39 million.
yes.
Where was the challenge?
Now the challenge, if you look at for water sales, now we are budgeting assuming even the weather will be favorable. But during this year, under review, we had a long drought, meaning we have less water to extract and less to sell. That is number one. Number two, we assume that we'll get continuous supply of water from Bomet, which was not the case. So that is why we were not able to meet the budgeted figure of 219.
Okay, so which means you had a budget of 235. 235 in that financial year.
Yes.
Okay, now let's go to recurrent expenditures. Wages alone, personal expenses, took 150 of that.
Yes.
150 of 235.
Yes.
And your projection was 180 on salaries.
Yes.
So where did that go now? Because I think salary is a mandatory thing. What happened? Does it mean that
We
you
spent-
decided
we
not
spent
to pay
less.
others?
Not really. We spend less while we had budgeted for more. That's
Okay.
how it means.
Okay. So another one is that you have a small amount of 235 million. Why is it that now operations and maintenance becomes very costly?
Now, if you look at
For example, traveling night out allowances 4 million. Then staff welfare 4.8. Board expenses 3.3. Telephone and postage 2 million.
if you look at for the case of the components under operation and maintenance, the items, we had actually budgeted for traveling of 4.7 while we spend less, 4.0. For staff welfare, 8.8, we only spend 4.8. For meals and the rest, we spend 501. Board expenses, It is 3931 600 339145.
Okay, let's go to the total amounts of
The
operation.
total amounts, let me.
170 million.
Personnel expenditure as a percentage of O&M, it is very high.
You cannot try to bring it down.
If
Because
it,
170 is
what happens there? In terms of personnel expenditure as a percentage of O&M, personnel expenditure mainly is salaries. So if you have low operation and maintenance amount, since it's a relationship, it takes us to high.
Let's differentiate between personal emoluments here, because here personal expenses is 180, and then operations and maintenance alone is 170 million. Let's not mix the issues.
Yes, yes, I agree. Now, if you look at the operation and maintenance, these are basics.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it's too much. 170 is too much, and they're in losses. You are doing a lot of losses, and your first target is 1M. Or that is where watu wanaweza pata tu mahali pa kama
No, not really.
So
If you look at part of these operations, these are also includes licenses and softwares, levies that we are supposed to pay.
on softwares ni 20 million peke yake, na hii ndio may lead to over expenditure to 371.
Which page?
Page 7, which include computer software, 20 million. So you are saying that maybe something that will bring money has been given 20 million, but something that goes somewhere takes 170 according to your projection.
So, software is not actually 20 million, it's 127.
And in total from computer hardware 127, computer software 2 million, meters, because this one is what will bring money. Sinivo. Pipeline, water and distribution 2. This one is development, maybe on the other side. Imechukua 20 million. Lakini ile ingine ya ku travel nini imechukua 170. Na hata ukiona the actuals pia, the actuals you used 94 million. Actuals ya hiyo ya expenses, hiyo O&M 94 million. Yani you managed to pay 94 million by end of that financial year. And then you only used 5 million on the side of capital expenses or on the side of development, something that will give you money. You only buy meters, 3 million, 3.8, na ile software 6.6, na ile buildings 339, na decentralized treatment facility 764. So mukawacha water distribution equipment, pipeline, so which means mahali kuna leakages I cannot be connected because preferences is on O&M. Then this one is not preferred. Also fittings, Ilcom may propose 220, but at long last 0. What do you think was the issue?
I think budgets are based on historical information. And again, if you look at these are the basics. If you come to staff welfare, you cannot do away with staff welfare. In fact, when we are doing budgets, we look at the basics since we know that the company is having financial challenges. If you go to ground maintenance, at the end of the day, we have to make the compound or the various tanks, we have to make them clean.
Okay, let's do the comparison of what you have said, staff welfare.
Yes.
Between staff welfare and metering, which one is important? Which one will bring money?
I can say both are important.
Okay, which one is
but,
the first?
But to a certain level.
Which one is the first one?
The first one would be metering.
Yes.
Because ideally, even if currently we have financial challenges, if meters are not there, we'll say let's pay meters first before we do this, depending on the various priorities that we have.
Okay, so in this case, you bought meters worth 3.8.
Yes.
And then you staff welfare, you used 4 million. So which means staff welfare was a priority. So si munge change basi sasa mnunue meter as what 4.8 alafu hii ya chini because we
Okay,
need
maybe-
money to run your course. In that connection, maybe MD, do you have ceilings? Ceilings in everything that you do. Do you have ceilings? Maybe if it is staff welfare, there is a ceiling of this much. If it is maybe going out, there is a ceiling of this. Doing a meeting outside Kericho County, there is a ceiling of this. Fueling.
Okay, what happens? When we are doing our books based on accrual basis, in accrual basis we would put the expense, the amount as an expense, and then go and pay from the other side as we reduce the liability. So at the end of the day, if we look at, we build 180 million, we are spending 170 million. There are other liabilities that are there. So there is no day that we would have savings. As much as we have the budget, we have to struggle to get the budget. And for the few years I've been in KEWASCO, we operate from hand to mouth.
Okay, no problem, because it is budget, what you're expecting, with what you will do. So you have talked about accrued, you said accrued what?
Use accrual basis.
Accrual basis. So let's go to this one, statutory arrears under expenses. I think this one is also under accrual basis.
Yes.
Okay, you budgeted for 31 million, but the end result was 0. Nothing was paid.
Okay. The reason why we budgeted 31, if you go to the grants from the county government, there was a discussion that the county government would bail 31 million. If I give you the breakdown of the grant, it has 31 million.
So you expected this one
To come from the county
government.
government, yes. That is why we put it there.
Okay, so on priorities now, which one should come first?
In terms
That's
of,
On capital expenses and operation and maintenance.
it depends again. If let's say now, power is disconnected, maybe in Duka Moja, we have power disconnected, or there are no chemicals. Yet here, we have let's say we are supposed to pay salaries. What do? I'll talk to the supplier, kindly allow us to give us chemicals. We pay a small amount and defer this maybe for a day or so.
Udanielewa? Najua we are dealing with 3 categories here, sio? Kuna category number 1 of personal expenses. Tumewacha hiyo because maybe you are struggling with getting finances to pay. Let's deal with this one now that you can regulate operation and maintenance na capital expenses. For example, we have talked about Madawa.
Yes.
So that one is under capital expense.
No, it is under operation.
Under operation. Which
Yes.
line?
It's number 9. Number 10.
Or water chemicals. So you projected 3.8 and then you bought, you made it 2.2. At least this one mulifanya vizuri. What about this one, bulk water supply? Or you also expected money from county government?
Yes. What came as a bill was 18.4 for that financial year, but the budget was 42, which was now part of the grant. The reason why it is 18 is because maybe there were several disconnections.
So maybe Cham.
Okay, there is this issue of statutory arrears. In the previous year, 2019-2020, the actuals were 4,487,181. And when you come to 2020-2021, it's almost 6 times now. And again, if you are saying you are basing on the previous, I heard you say so, that you are basing on the previous financial years. what is now informing you that the previous financial year was 4.4, the next financial year is around 6 times, 6 or 7 times. Yeah.
If you go back and look at our liabilities are so much. This basically statutory arrears is not based on historical. It is based on how much will the county give us. If the county had said I'm giving you 11 million, we would have put 11 million.
But you see, the actuals, meaning, I don't know, maybe you'll elaborate later on, auditor, that actuals, meaning this is what you spent in the previous year. And statutory deductions is something that is constant. If the number of staff is X, it is X times the number of the figure maybe that's being charged. If it is pay, so I don't think statutory deductions will increase. It means you increase the number of staff.
Okay, maybe a clarification. When it comes to the issue of pay, they are in the personnel expenses. But this is just in reference to areas that are there. We have not paid for pension. The county has said they are going to give us this. It is not the monthly pay NHIF. That is an expense under personnel expense.
Then why is it higher in the financial year that is coming? It should be at least, you see, even if it's one, it should be somewhere where it's almost closer to each other, not piling up to this much or even having a huge figure.
Okay, I can say it was based on a promise that we would pay. The county would give us 31 million. But if you look at the areas that we have, it is more than 31 million.
Look at 2021, 2020, 2021. Where is the actuals now? Because if there was actuals in 2019, there was actuals in 2020, now there's nothing in 2021, 2020, 2021.
There was no remittance from the county. Specifically, that is in relation to the grant from the county.
Thank you. So maybe
what is important is that they give us the details of this document so that it will be easy for us to interrogate. For example, if this statutory, we are expecting it from county government, we need to get information from you and also from them, whether they confirm that they will give you that 1 million. And then we compare with the budget. Because I am very sure in 2019, 2020, what I told you had, we gave you 60 million. And we also give you 25 million. I will produce that document for your consumption. So we are requesting that you furnish this committee with those details. Thank you.
Thank you. We should proceed to the next question.
The next paragraph on the other matters is unresolved prior year audit matters, which is number 2, and it reads that as disclosed under the progress on follow-up of auditor recommendations section of the financial statements, some of the prior year audit issues remained unresolved as at 30 June 2021. Management has not provided satisfactory reasons for the delay in resolving the issues.
Response.
Okay, thank you. I acknowledge that prior matters have not been fully resolved. As some of these matters require huge investments. However, progressive solution is underway to resolve these concerns and resolve all the prior matters. The following are still outstanding audit matters. Number 1, we are still faced with unremitted statutory deductions even to date. Number B, we still have issues with trade and receivables. Number C is we had the undisclosed material uncertainty relating to the going concern. This is due to the negative working capital. And then we also have a challenge with non-compliance with financial management and fiscal responsibility principles. And then we also have non-compliance with the 1/3 basic rule. That is still remains a challenge. And then we still have a challenge on ethnicity, composition of the staff. And the other challenge that is still there is the high non-revenue water, which still remains a challenge. However, we are mentioning here that some of these issues require substantial time to correct. But nonetheless, as an institution, a number of interventions as per the query have been developed to remedy these issues. Thank you very much.
Yeah, continue, questions.
Thank you, Chairman. Maybe my first question is that do you have a strategic plan?
Yes, we do.
Is it something that is ongoing or it has lapsed? Because from your website, what is there is a lapsed strategic.
We did a revised.
Just visits here. Just
Yes,
visits here.
we have revised the strategic
Is
plan.
it
but
approved?
Yes, it's approved. But it's also coming to its end. It has, in fact, it has just ended 2023.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that
Yeah.
what is there is a lapsed strategic
Yes.
plan.
Yes. So, but if you look at what we have, in what we have budgeted for, we are actually putting an advert.
So why do you wait until it lapses so that I thought it should be as seamless?
That is how it should be. But remember that if you look at our history and where we have come from, we have had a number of challenges. So that's why we had to get to mop up some funds so that we get a consultant to assist us do it. And this time,
What I'm saying is that why do you wait until it lapses? Because I thought 1 year, 2 or 6 months, you look for a consultant, you start the process. So immediately it lapses, this one comes in.
that is how it should be.
So what happened?
There are a number of issues that came on board. One was, first of all, we need to get a board in place so that they ratify. But what we have done now, we are advertising for a consultant to assist us development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know that during the year you visited Senate and there were some recommendations that were made by the Senate committee. How far is the implementation of the recommendations?
I want to say that some of the recommendations that were put forth, we have managed to address some. One of them was the issues to do with high non-revenue water. That one we are progressively working on it. Number two is there was need to have a fully functional board, and I think because of time and the elapse of the tenure of the directors, that one now will be addressed. And
Do you have the recommendations from the Senate?
we didn't get a written recommendation from the Senate.
But how did you know that there were recommendations and how? Because I saw you say you want to plan to act on it.
I attended the Senate meetings, and those are part of the things that I captured. Written, I wrote them myself.
So you don't have the
We
written
don't have
recommendation from
formal
Senate?
recommendation from the Senate.
They just interviewed you and no recommendations?
No recommendation.
Maybe MD. So you're saying that you are in Senate and you had some of the issues that were raised, and you're now acting,
They were read to us.
and then you are now acting what was read to you,
Yes.
not from a written document.
We have not received written document.
Does it mean now you are in KEWASCO? You are only operating on ESAs?
Not yet.
In doing because if somebody read for you and you have not gotten any written document, then you go and act something that.
No, if you look at the concerns that were raised, like the issues of high non-revenue water, that is something that we have been addressing all along. So it's not something that came up as a new thing in the Senate. It is an issue that we have been addressing all along.
Let's say for example, saa hizi nikuambia kwamba na staff amekuwa akiiba pesa. Are you will you go and just act on what I have said, or you'll see you must get something that shows that this person is liable?
We need to get evidence, yeah, on the allegation that have been raised.
Okay.
There's something very important you mentioned, that it has been an issue being raised by Senate. Is it an issue that is important, or maybe because it has been raised by Senate all the time, to you it is not something that is of any concern? Because when Senate recommends something, even this House, whatever we recommend something that we know is going to help the company. Because when you came here because whatever the auditor reported was a qualified report. And if it was an unqualified report, there was no need for us to have you here, because everything is running well. So you are here because there is a problem, and we're here to offer solutions. And there are ways of doing that again. So whatever is being raised, whether in this House or in Senate, is very important. Even if it is raised 3 or 4 times, it is very important. And that's why we needed to know the recommendation. Maybe we will ask you to again follow up, but we'll also get the recommendations, because we can write to Senate to give us the recommendations, and then we see how far you have implemented.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I will not take much time or take you back so much. My question, when Tililbe Water and Sanitation Company merged, there were assets and liabilities. And I'm happy that you were in Tililbe before coming to KEWASCO. I'm looking at the books, and there is money that is in KCB account, so tick. How much money is in that account?
We have 3 accounts.
Yes.
At KCB. We have an account for customer deposit, account for revenue, and account for expenditure.
That's for Tililbe.
Yes.
Then
Not even Tililbe. That is for Chemosi, which later became Tililbe and now.
Thank you. So at the time of the merger, what was the cash balances in those accounts?
We had at the deposit account was 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is 1,275,838.
Yes.
Revenue account 3,297,418. Expenditure account is 1,096,487.
Are you aware there is 10 million in one of the accounts in KCB Sotek for Chemosit?
No.
There is money in one of the accounts. I am surprised that it is not captured anywhere.
10 million?
Yes.
No.
We found out from the former chairman.
No, we have the bank statements for
Well,
those accounts.
The signatories are about 3 members. Engineer Maritime and 2 other officials.
No.
I am telling you.
They are not signatories.
In fact, the signatories are me and Nobat, and Langat Joelu retired. He was the MD.
Find out.
And he was there. Nobat was there picking the certificate of bank balance like 2 years when audit was being carried. And the balance is the same.
I am not saying what I do not know.
Okay.
In fact, the money would have gone back to unclaimed assets. But someone has been depositing about 200 shillings in that account so that the money is not taken to unclaimed assets.
Maybe Nobat can say it.
Okay, thank you, Chair, for this opportunity. I'm one of the signatories. It is true that I was one of the signatories in that account. that is the KCB SOTIC. Engineer Maritim was not the signatory. He was the chairman of the board.
Yes.
For Chemosit.
Which was it? Yes.
So those accounts, the money in those accounts have had some, I think 3 occasions the Unclaimed Assets Authority want to transfer.
Is the amount 10 million?
No, as has been read by the CFM.
Found out,
Around
because I
5
do
million.
not know why what you have reported in your books and the actual balances in the account are different
I think
on record.
the account is frozen, and the court case has not been.
KCB Bank, we have a certificate of the amount of money in that account. We have the statement. So it is 5 million. It is a total of those that.
Much. Let me say something about that, because if there's an existing account, then